Looks like someone left his tarpaulin. When the wind ruffles the cloak, you can most definitely...
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the earth. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day. The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2 meter stops. Whenever you're ready to do it.
The tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing. As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive.
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as deep.
With your feet firmly planted on the concrete. Rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked with a loud grind. The crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. And with a surprise, the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled. Moving this container.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers. Except for...
The crane does not return. Before you stands a cargo container.
You do? There are 1 million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? There may very well be, but we are not here. We are not here to interact with containers.
You attempt to turn there. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions. No reply. The knock produces a hollow... You're back before the cargo container. With great effort, he straightens himself up in...
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you to... I'm Everard Clare. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunate.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding...
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, It can't be good, he thinks. I'll do. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or... cool? I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comic. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is the world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape.
I know everything, Harry. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Officer, we will deal with the...
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You want to cry.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois?
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois, are you okay?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even...
Okay, enough. We are here to...
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police off...
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about...
Oh, of course. That's your main... I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to...
Yes, that sounds good.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are... And I'm sure you're going to open this one with fly...
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son.
Harry, I'm a very busy man.
You want to send someone a message?
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man. Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig, a loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel... Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. Fantastic, my friend. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age. Yes, yes, Harry. You are... Anyway, I assure you, I am... Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A re... Container.
This is the night watchman's booth.
If you must.
Nothing incriminating catches your... Looks like the inhabitant is rather pedantic when it comes to... It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in...
Why did you take that? Fine, but let's move.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. On second glance,
It's unfortunate for the Union to...
the drawer opens with hundreds of documents containing and the same materials being handed over to... It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there? Good. This is probably not real.
The drawer slides shut.
Body betrayed.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Are you admiring? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm. What is this androgynous?
You hear your heart pumping, fast and irregular.
Stop it. You are embarrassing your... This display of weakness may appeal to older women with...
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
You have succumbed to all. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from you. Your mouth moves, but the one who speaks is Al-Ghul. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich rays, jerking motions, signs of a late-stage neuro... You gave the world eugenics, electricité. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You will be super...
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the state. Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art. and your microsif. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. Mr. Clell is a man of vision and means. He also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Jam, individualism. You have gotten these ideas. Rock and roll is moribund. Only Koikos listen to it anymore. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side
Measurehead stoically looks to the distance, in silence.
I think this racist is better than the last. But the next racist will be the really good one.
That is understandable. The previous...
These cops are just jealous, Jean-Luc.
The man looks at you.
You are not Santiago. Santiago is not you. Racists are generally not very good examples of...
Welcome to Revachol.
I am not like them.
True, that is a noble cranium, but you got a hard noggin yourself.
You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal. Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both. As you turn, a bright light catches your eye. From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what, yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop. With a sudden flash, the world...
Scab?
What did he just call you? Oh no, not this again. You just got away from that fucking kid.
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay. Beats me. Some gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to scab. Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something. We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time. I was just messing with you. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money. Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's in...
The man whispers a jaunty tune.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Oh, say no more. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. I'm not so sure. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags.
Okay, but where...
The janitor gave it to me. None of this mess we're in, this jiving, and I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about we're negotiating our share. Aye. All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process. No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't. Then how can anything ever be mine? But that's okay. We don't have to agree. I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've made it. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer. I guess you kind of get to be the village chief.
By that, you mean?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? The old man is corrupt for our benefit. He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And sure, I've had the necessary free time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
She looks up.
Yes, what we have is there, in the medicine cabinet. Wow. I didn't know you worked for the Union, sir. Anything else I...
That was easy. Blow the whole thing on speed and gin. Right now. Speed and gin.
I don't really know anything. I mean,
No need to worry.
okay. Uh-huh.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Okay, here. Is this about the questions?
a colorful display. The bottles wink at you in the light. There, in that dark green glass. All in vain. Good thing.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But, I guess...
The tear machine stands in... To the left.
Looking for something odd? Oh, not much anymore. Apples. Fine.
He's given you the runner.
sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat?
Apparently, she doesn't.
Pig's come to take me out.
If anything, you're afraid she'll take you out one day.
Don't get fucking clever.
This must be it. The royal lion, Guillaume's kitten. You try to be as silent as you can. Finally, the door. Good job. As you hold the open door. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman, grinning a little ring. Though cheerful, the lieutenant picks up one.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking.
So, how'd you like our harbor? It's but a rest area? Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye. Like...
Mr. Dubois, yes, your lost gun. Your gun will be found.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Yes, thank you for the hot tip regarding your Now please, let the
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might act.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means.
He isn't.
Of course. I understand. We had...
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you? You're right, Harry. You only had to Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work. By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful...
He performs a motion.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Santa Maritza.
Those Senorita Pineapple people are scary motherfuckers.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing... Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container. Yes, I'm an old man, Harry, but enough about me and my fun container. The killers, one of them got downright suicidal. Getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own
What makes you think the Wild Pine Snake...
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers and we got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood...
An entire neighborhood of...
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people they're like you guys.
So these...
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, he probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and...
Aren't you worried we might arrest...
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same...
So you believe the scabs...
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just... Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But, oh, they are simply fine young men. All 7 of them. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when...
Interesting.
They're almost all of them great guys. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't... You know what, Harry? I got a feeling they're gonna...
The lieutenant marks something in his notebook.
But of course, it's the least I can do for my...
When you meet this Titus...
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
The lieutenant watches you pocket.
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more questions? Why? Believe me, he's not a killer. He's a nobody.
Did one of his complex theories...
What if it did? What if he took a whack in the dark? What if he planned to write a hack piece to the local newspaper regarding these crazy theories he had developed? Just to stir up trouble. Wouldn't that be annoying? Truly awful. It's great it didn't happen then. Now please, let's get... Was it a good talk? I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like... Yes, Harry. It's like I can't...
He's been hurt too much in the past. By men who aren't social democrats.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitches, agent provocateur...
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta. I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern... There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it.
It depends. I don't think what we just got...
But, he thinks,
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get... They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best... On the coast, Harry, across the canal.
water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her. You're already pretty deep into this. What's a little more?
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Most certainly, Harry. Nothing by all means, Harry. Of course. Let us dispatch with a form. My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop.
I think the odds of that are very low.
So good to hear that, Harry.
It's just a brown fold.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of...
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now. Harry, you're not simply a cop, you're a star. A bright shining star in the drab law enforcement sky. Of course I do, Harry. And I'm gonna help you
He's probably just making a guess based on your recent activity in Martinez.
But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jam. It's Harry.
You don't feel like either one of these things. You know what your name is.
Fine, Harry. You can even be Harry Raphael Dubois de Costo. Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't seem even slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. I, however, wish to help you any way I can.
Everard's large hands are covering the folder, but the look on his face says, I know everything about you, Harry.
Oh, Harry.
I'm sure it's not that bad.
So how about it, Harry? You are this?
I find that very...
I'm afraid this is meant for Union I... Of course, Harry, of course. See you soon.
There.
found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed. Shit. Get...
You can't do that, Kuno.
Pigs can't displace. Can't. How did you like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right? It's a vitamin pig. Don't you... Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it against you.
You're not getting this pig. It completely...
Fuck you, pig. Don't do mag. You're gonna...
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit.
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you?
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape. Too brutal for you, huh? Kuno, fuck your tongue off. Of course you want back in there. Everyone, good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom.
He's on your crime scene, bossing you around. And he's been here for some time too. This is where...
Get your snout out of Kuno. You should give up, Popo.
You okay, Kuno?
That went wrong. He took it as a compliment. Then he had a minor seizure.
The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kid. Kuno doesn't...
There he still is, looking right through you, with his... There he still is, looking right through you, with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated